Hey church, it's Pastor Sarah. Welcome to evening devotions on this Monday, March 1st. I'd invite you, if you have a candle, to light that now so we would remember together the presence and the Spirit of Christ with us as we center ourselves in prayer. As you probably know, we've been reading through the book of Exodus this season, focusing on the journey of Moses and his people through the wilderness. And we have made it as far as chapter 13. Our story picks up today after Pharaoh has finally agreed to let the people go. Now, spoiler alert, he didn't really mean it, and he's going to be changing his mind later. But at this moment, the people are heading away from Pharaoh, away from Egypt, the place of their slavery and their suffering, and they're headed out towards the wilderness, following Moses' lead. Now, they're not to the Red Sea yet. They have just barely left town, and they're carrying with them all their earthly belongings. They've got clothes and blankets and tents and food. They've got their livestock that they'll be needing to survive along the way. Maybe they've even pilfered some of that straw that they had so much trouble with in the last episode, in case their animals need it for food later. They're also carrying bowls of bread dough that haven't yet had a chance to rise. That's part of the Passover tradition. Maybe you know this, and maybe you know that Jews eat matzah crackers even today to remember the hurried way in which the people escaped from Egypt without even having time to get ready. They don't know what to expect. They don't know where they're going. They only know that they're moving away from Egypt and that God has promised to guide them. So I'll be reading to you from Exodus chapter 13, verses 20 to 22, and this is the NRSV. They set out from Sukkot and camped at Etham on the edge of the wilderness. Then the Lord went in front of them like a pillar of cloud by day to lead them along the way, and a pillar of fire by night to give them light, so that they might travel by day and by night. Neither the pillar of cloud by day nor the pillar of fire by night left its place in front of the people. Now, I'd invite you, if you'd like to take your little plate and your packet of sand. Take those out of your Lent kit now. You can cut open the packet. You'll probably need a pair of scissors, and then just empty it out onto the plate. The plate, by the way, is just to protect your table. You can use any kind of little dish or bowl that you want to. You don't have to use the styrofoam if you don't want. And if you don't have a Lent kit and you don't have any sand, you can just fill any kind of dry substance. You can use salt or oatmeal or, as I learned recently, kitty litter. Anything that gives you that feel of sort of dry, gritty ground, the kind that the Israelites walked upon for 40 days. As they followed the pillar of cloud and the pillar of fire, which went before them by night, which means, by the way, that they traveled in both the day and the darkness through the sand. Now, how many of them do you think got sand in their shoes? Sand in their clothes? Sand in their bedclothes? Sand in their ears and their mouths and their noses? Have you ever been to the beach in the summertime and you can't ever get all the sand out of your stuff after you get home? Well, this would have been kind of like that, except it wasn't just one lovely afternoon. It was 40 years of journey. And the people were not on a beachfront vacation. They were fleeing for their lives. That's why they traveled both day and night, to get away from Pharaoh. And it didn't take long before they were exhausted and grouchy. Now, we'll be hearing about their grouchiness over the next couple of weeks. You'll find lots of times in Exodus where the people yell at Moses, "Why did you bring us out here? We don't even think God is with us." And Moses didn't know that footprints in the sand story, but I bet that he still would have said to the Israelites, "Don't you know that when you only see one set of footprints in the sand, it's because the Lord is carrying you?" So that's what I would like to remind you of this evening. If you are feeling exhausted or weary or grouchy, or like you got sand between your toes and everything is just gross, I invite you to remember that God is walking with you through it all. And if you only see one set of footprints in the sand, they're probably God's. Now, today's word for the wilderness is gone astray. We discovered recently that not everybody who got a Lent kit got a bookmark with it, so sorry about that. That means that you don't know the order of the words in which we're using them. But it turns out you can use these words in any order. We just put them in the order that seemed to serve us well for telling the story. You can organize your stack of cards the way that we've got ours. The bookmark is on the Lent page of the website if you want to. And today's word is gone astray. So I'll close with that prayer. Would you pray with me? Gracious God, I have a wandering heart. I'm so easily distracted by the ways of this world that I forget what path I'm following. I don't deserve your celebratory love, a love that throws open doors and runs to meet me every time I come home. I don't deserve it, and yet I don't know what I'd do without it. Thank you. Amen. Amen. Thanks for joining me tonight, church. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.